Unfortunately, a lot of the companies now are owned by Gen Xers and baby boomers. And for them, work is work, just get in line, snowflake, right? So that's how they think. And they don't really care about showing people like millennials like me or Gen Zs how your work would make a dent in the universe or how it would affect the grander scheme of things.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Leadership Stack Podcast, the podcast for entrepreneurs by entrepreneurs to increase your leadership, teamwork, and profits. This is your host, Angelyn Si, aka Mr. CEO at 22.
From Erica, how do you effectively manage a team mostly made up of young people, millennials or Gen Z? I'm going to let you answer that first.
We do it how we would like ourselves to be managed. So we don't micromanage people. We set the goals and we respect how they will do it, when they will do it. Well, of course, that is, of course, setting also the deadline. Young people, older people would like to be respected, would like to be listened to, would like to grow. So that's something that we promise our team. We grow them. We make sure that they won't leave our team as is, where is, how they were. They will definitely learn skills. They will definitely learn how to lead other people as well. That is, if they have the initiative to want to learn that. But we always give that opportunity to other people and we welcome suggestions as well. So, how we lead is how we want to be led. And that is being given direction and being given the freedom on how to do things the way we do best. We also allow them to go from one team to the other to explore if they would like to do that. So another way we lead is to give opportunities for more growth.
A lot of people, Simon Sinek and all the other speakers that whose voices are generally heard about the millennials and the generation Z, when we've seen this in YouTube videos, is that the difference between millennials and the boomers or the Gen Xers is that when millennials, and that includes me, by the way, in Apple, we're both millennials. When we work, we want to work with a bigger purpose than just having a paycheck. We want to know that what we're doing matters in the grander scheme of things. And so in SEO Hacker, we do our best to show people this is what your work is doing. Oh, you're writing articles. It's not just because you want to share that on social media. It's because that article that you wrote is actually getting traffic for the website perpetually every day from people who matter and who become customers for our client. So we connect those dots for them, and that gives a sense of purpose that's bigger than the day to day grind. That's super important. In my case, I'm the lead salesperson or the lead business developer, and I can easily connect it by seeing the bottom line. Oh, here's the bottom line. That makes it secure. That means I could pay my people right and well for the next X number of months or years. And that is significant for me. That matters for me. That for me is making a dent in the universe. And for a lot of millennials and Gen Zs, that's what they want to see. Unfortunately, a lot of the companies now are owned by Gen Xers and baby boomers. And for them, work is work, just get in line, snowflake, right? So that's how they think. And they don't really care about showing people like millennials like me or Gen Zs how your work would make a dent in the universe or how it would affect the grander scheme of things. I don't think it's that difficult to show people that. I think it's simple, but that's one really good way to effectively manage them. When you say manage, it's all about making decisions so that the status quo is maintained or optimized. And that means for managing a team is you don't lose people. You don't have turnover. Your churn rate is super duper low. Or it's a positive churn, meaning someone got married or would have children or they moved to another team within your company, they went up. That's a positive churn. You lost the person, but it's for something that's positive in their lives or for your company. To do that, you just have to connect the dots for them. And like what Apple said, you have to make sure that there are opportunities for growth. Because if millennials and Gen Zs, they're very sharp. If they see that, oh, this is the ceiling, this is as far as I can go, they're probably gonna make plans already to leave. So that opportunity for growth has to be big and has to be in there. And we make sure that that's visible and transparent at the get go when we hire and onboard people. From Erica, do you have any advice in managing a difficult team member?
First, how I would do it, I think, would be is to listen. As Sean was saying, let's qualify how difficult this person could be. Is he or she someone who wants to get things done his way and his way only? Does this person feel like he or she is just correct all the time? So that I think we listen first. So the fact that we have to manage, not lead, is we just make sure that this person would be able to get to do the things that we need her or to get her job done or his job done. So first, I will be very clear of the goals of what he or she is doing, give the reason as to why the task needs to be done, and explain until he or she understands. However, if he or she doesn't understand, I think Sean mentioned it earlier, it is also best to part ways. If you know, because this will definitely affect the chemistry in the team, the culture in the team, and again, the competence in the team. Because if a difficult member is influencing others to not do their job well, then it would be better to part ways.
I actually wrote an entire section about this in my book 50x Your Business. So if you're interested in learning deeply about how do you manage a difficult team member, how do you stop gossip from seeping in to your company's culture and dividing your team, how do you fire an employee in a nice, honorable, and respectable way, all of the stuff that I know and I do as a leader and managing SEO Hacker as its CEO, I actually put into this book. And guess what? It's just $5.19. That's how cheap I'm selling my book for on Amazon. How do you manage a difficult team member? Okay, here's what I wrote there. There are two ways. Number one, positive reinforcement. Number two, negative reinforcement. Now, some people would say, don't spank them. Don't do the negative reinforcement. Just positive. Don't sanction them. Don't send them a memo. Because that's negative, that will bring people down. Just tell them the good things and maybe they can do even better. You know, you're gonna need both. In my experience, you're gonna need both. Because if the encouragement doesn't work, and there's a lot of times that it does not work, then you don't have memos lined up enough to part ways with them and fire them. Now, having a person who is difficult and who is negative and who is incompetent stay in your team, what can be more frustrating as a leader? What can be more frustrating as the business owner? Nothing can be more frustrating than that. So you have to have both, and you have to use both within your good discernment. You cannot use one or the other all the time. You have to know when to use the negative reinforcement. You have to know when to use the positive reinforcement. You could say, remember this time when you did a great job then? I want to see more of that. Or you celebrate with them their wins and then say, here's the thing. I want to see more of that. That's not happening in this project. Can you do that? They say yes. But if they make the same mistakes, frustrates you, then you have to have a memo right there. You cannot not send them a memo because that's part of the firing process. That's part of the process that would help them to wake up. We're human beings, and their excuse may be tao lang ako. Well, that is a valid excuse, but you can't be held hostage by that excuse as the business owner either. You have to make sure that your business is always priority. The other people within your company are priority, not just this one person.
I think I mentioned earlier that diba, we have to listen to our people. And this includes the difficult people because it might also be that this person is also going through something. And it has happened to us that nagkataon. There was a moment in time when a really good, reliable team member was really not doing well. And she was being unreliable, right? So, number one, we had to really talk to her about it, and then we have to listen. Apparently, she was going through some difficult stuff. So I think that's also one more thing because sometimes from the outside, this person just looks like, wow, she's being so inconsistent, she's being so difficult and hard and self-centered, etc. But in reality, maybe there's also just some things that needs to be fleshed out. So that's another thing, just to add.
Oh, hey, and since you're here, can you do me a favor? Can you hit on the subscribe button and hit the bell button and select all notifications so that whenever we have a new video, you're gonna be the first one to know. Until then, keep Keep leading.
What are the things that energize you the most? You feel alive when doing it. And when you feel alive, you almost like when you're doing that task, you look forward to that task. Then while you're doing it, wow, time goes past really fast. You get into this thing called the flow. And when you understand that, when you finish that task, you look back, hey, I want to do more of that. So your emotions play a great part in understanding how you navigate what are strengths that you have and what are some of the things that you maybe not using your strengths.